Hello, sewing enthusiasts. I'm Vanessa from Ellie and Mac, and today we're going to do something a little different. I'm inviting you to join me as I take my wardrobe and turn it into a capsule collection. One of the things that I love about sewing is having so many beautiful pieces in my closet, but sometimes those pieces don't go together. And because I'm turning 40 this year, I feel like I'm in this transition where I want to get up and look stylish every single day. So I think creating a base capsule is going to really help me achieve that. So regardless if you're turning 40 or if you're turning 30 or 50 or 60 or 70, I hope that you will join me on this. So we're going to start out each week by picking one item, and I'm going to be showing you multiple choices that you can pick and telling you the number of items of that item that normally you pick in your closet for a capsule. So first of all, I had to pick my color scheme. So when I looked in my closet and I went thrifting, I noticed that yes, I do lean into neutrals, but in my closet, there's a lot of pinks, a lot of greens, and a lot of burgundies. So since it's turning fall and winter here, I'm gonna lean into the greens and burgundies, but if it's warmer you are, I'm gonna show you options for that too. So look in your closet, look at the colors that you look best in, and pick two of those to go along with your neutrals. And up first this week, we're gonna start this week, we are going to be doing shirts that you tuck in. So regardless of your style, you're gonna need these shirts, whether you're gonna tuck it into a skirt, you're gonna tuck it into your jeans, or if you're gonna put something on over it. Having a fitted shirt really does help. So I'm going to show you all the options. And the one thing with capsules is they said that you don't want to have one of the same shirts. You want to have each shirt have something different about it so it has its own space that it fills. So I'm going to be showing you the shirts that I suggest from Ellie and Mac, but I'm also going to be giving you my tips and tricks for the best results as well as my hacks. So I hope you join me on this. I'm really excited, and I'm excited to have some friends to come along with me. So I hope you come along with me. So let's get to the cutting table. Let's talk fabric. This is a sage rib knit, and then this is a sweater knit heather gray, and then I actually did switch this white out for a DBP, and then this is a waffle knit in a brown tan color as well as a burgundy sweater knit. The first top I'm working on is a fitted Elena tee. This one is a baby tee, so you can have it as a crop top or the full length version like I'm doing today. It has a nice sway back, you can see right here. And today I'm going to be showing you how to actually do the neckband on this baby tee. So I'm doing the crew neckband, but I'm cutting my neckband at 2 inches wide. I always cut all of my shirt patterns neckbands at 2 inches wide. It just helps me have a little bit more control over how I'm cutting it. And this is how I'm cutting the sleeves. So you're going to put right sides out by folding in half. So wrong sides are together, and then you're going to put those two pieces together. And then you're going to wrap around one side over the other side. So again, right sides are together, but wrong sides are facing out. When you're serging, you always want to lock in your serge. So I always serge it once, and then I serge it again because you don't want that top of this neckband to slowly come undone. So this is where I'm going to be putting it on my neckband. And again, this is where you're going to quarter it, both the top as well as the band. So I always start with the back clip and then I move on to the front. Because this is such a small neck opening, it's really easy just to do it all together and just lining up those clips. Now the side clips are usually not at the shoulder seams, they're usually further down on the front, so you just want to make sure that you don't use your shoulder seams as a reference point for the quarter mark. And then you're just going to be clipping it on with the right sides together and the clips go on the inside. Now this is where it comes important with the 2 inches. At the 2 inches, I can actually line that neckband up with the metal bar that's on my presser foot. This is a Brother 1043D, and so this works perfect with having the right size of neckbands. I don't like my neckbands too small, and I feel like when the neckbands do get a little small, it's a dead giveaway that I made this top. So what do you think of my little thicker neckband on this Elena Baby Tee? So then I want to take the Jessica and I wanted to make a mock turtleneck. Now I'm not doing the sway back on this, so it's going to be a little bit looser, but I am cutting the crew neckband to be 5 inches instead of my normal 2. When I fold it in half, I'm going to have 2.5 inches on both sides, and just like the other neckband, I'm going to be putting right sides together and then folding one side of the neckband over the other, and then at my serger, I'm going to be serging this down twice to make sure it's locked in. After I've serged it twice, it's time to add on, and you're adding it on just like you would any other neckband. So here it is, and I actually already have it clipped into quarters. If you'd like to quarter it first, you can, starting at that back seam. And then I'm putting my shoulders together to find the back seam, the back center as well as the front center, and then putting the clips together to find the shoulder seams. And then after that, it's time to go back to the serger and serge it on. And this time I don't have to worry about the outside edge because it's pretty thick, and so I don't think any variation is going to show up. But this is a neckband that's not going to be squeezing your neck. That's one that I really struggle with. And here you can see my mock turtleneck. What do you think? I actually really love this hack. I think it looks so nice. So I love this Felicity bishop sleeve top. This one always gets so many compliments. So I'm going to show you how to make the perfect gathered sleeve in this hack. Now, after you sew the shoulder seams together, they had 2 gather points, and I marked the back with a square and the front with a triangle, and then I lay them out to make sure that I have opposite directions with my sleeves instead of just sewing up the side seams, because you might end up with one the same direction. So make sure you have the right if you have that type of fabric. Now my gather stitch, you can see right there, it was actually only 3 millimeters wide, and then I'm doing a straight stitch. And the reason why is I want those gathers to be really nice and tight. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I'm a little crazy about having the perfect gathers. Now right here, I'm just pulling only the bobbin thread, and then I'm going to take it over to my iron. Now this is a step that a lot of people skip, but it's just so those gathers don't tuck under and create a hole. So now we're going to be working on this cuffs for the sleeves. And so after I did my gathers around my wrist, now we're going to be working on the cuffs. And so you want to make sure that your direction is right again, and then you're going to be putting the right sides together, and then you're going to be folding one side over the other. And this just makes one serge for that cuff line. And as you can see right here, you have a perfect cuff. And this is what we're trying to get with those close gathers. So this is what we're aiming for. Also the close gathers up at the top. So that's why we do the 3 millimeters, so you get those beautiful gathers. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that cuff and you're going to be putting it over your sleeve and just clipping it into place. But instead of going straight to my serger, I'm actually going back to my sewing machine and I'm just basting this in. A basting stitch is any stitch that's easy to take out. So you normally do a straight stitch at a 5 millimeter. Now I'm going to be checking my gathers. As you can see, I had some issues with this one, so I actually unpicked and then re-sewed it together. And then after I checked it again, I take it to the serger. And so you always just want to make sure you check, because a base is just so much easier than taking out your actual serge stitches, and no lost fabric. So after I have the sleeve in, I flip my sleeve right sides out, and then I'm putting it in my shirt that is turned out. So on the inside, the right sides of my shirt are facing each other. And then I'm going to be taking it back to my sewing machine just to baste those gathers in. Because again, I want this to look nice, and I don't want my knife to cut off that gather stitch, and then I have to start all the way over. And as you can see, look how nice and tight those gathers are. Back to my serger. So this top only has long sleeve, but the other ones do have short sleeve. You could even do a really cute lace gathered sleeve here if it's a little too hot. And this top is probably one of my favorite tops. It's such a cute detail. This is going to be a double gathered sleeve of the modern Juliet. And this one is just a showstopper. What I love is it adds a gather without the bulk. So I'm going to be doing a 3 millimeter stitch just like I did on the Elena on this gather that's going to be sitting a little further down on my arm. And you can see those 2 little triangles that I have to know where to gather. And then I also have a triangle at the front of my sleeve to know which side is the front on both of them. Now from here, I'm just going to be basting on that gather, and I'm going to make sure that all those gathers are facing the right direction after I went to the iron. And then I'm going to be doing a wide zigzag stitch here. So it's just basting on an elastic, and this is at like a 10%. The elastic is definitely optional. If that's something that you don't like, the feel or texture of having elastic around your arm, you don't have to add it. There's also a short sleeve option that has a band if you live in the hotter areas, and look how adorable that gather is. And then from here, we're just going to serge it on. But I'm being very careful to not accidentally come into the elastic. So I'm just running the edge of the elastic. And then I'm just going to be serging down the side seams. I want to make sure that my elastic is lined up perfectly before I start serging down my sleeves. And then as you can see, this bottom gather, and then you're just going to follow the instructions of the Elena to actually add the gather onto the top of the sleeve. But this sleeve is just so beautiful on. And then finally, we're back to the Jessica. So to have a different space for this Jessica, I'm actually doing the scoop neck. So I'm doing it a little bit lower. And then with this texture fabric, it's just going to be lovely. Now, since these are shirts I tuck in, I'm not going to roll hem around the bottom. I'm just going to roll up my serge, and then I'm going to make sure that it's not too thick. And then I'm doing a lightning stitch at its widest setting to go all the way around the bottom of my shirt, making sure that my tension is not too high and that my stitches are elongated. And then I'm roll hemming all the way around my sleeves, because I do like to have a finished rolled hem on anything that's not tucked in. Now, I know these tops are going to be cute, but do they capsule? Here's my Elena Baby Tee fitted with my jeans as well as slacks and a skirt. And here is my Felicity with those beautiful bishop sleeves with jeans as well as with my jumper. My editing software stopped letting me do split screen for some reason halfway through this video, but it's okay, just bear with me. I just wanted you to get a more full view of how adorable these outfits look. Here's a modern Juliet paired again with jeans and with my business slacks. I actually thrifted both of these bottoms. And as you can see at those beautiful gathers, it is looking so lovely. I just love this top. It's my favorite. And then here is the Jessica with a mock turtleneck paired with a jumper as well as the same business slacks. And then you can also see it paired with a third layer with a blazer. Up next is my Jessica with the scoop neck. And again, it pairs with everything. I'm going to get so many uses out of all these tops. Make sure to pick 2 to 5 for your capsule wardrobe. Thank you for watching. A like and subscribe would be amazing. Have a wonderful day.